I can tell by your choice in podcast that you are wise warriors. You can learn much about your enemy from what they drink and what they listen to. And you are listening to Concon's Cantina, a wise decision. I will meet you on the battlefield. Perhaps. Or perhaps not.
What is up, everybody? It is your boy, it's Concon, back at it again. Justin's not here.
We back.
You see, you even did it better than him. I mean, I'm just gonna kick him out completely.
Oh, I don't know about all that.
You're the new permanent, guys. As you can see, my beautiful wife Tashi Station is sitting next to me, and guys, we have an amazing guest this week, sitting across from us virtually from the largest. Well, no, Alaska's the largest state. From the second largest state in the U.S. Guys, tell the people who you are.
So we are Princess and Scoundrel. You can decide which one is which, but I am Sara.
And I'm Steven.
And we have a YouTube channel, and we also put it out as a podcast, and we talk about Disney parks and Star Wars and a lot of Star Cruiser.
Yeah.
Guys,
Love
Sara is being very modest. They have a very, very polished podcast. If you're a longtime listener of this podcast, you know that we care about audio quality and all that stuff. Be sure to check out Sara and Steven's podcast. Very, very polished. It's obvious that they care about the product that they're putting out. Very, very good stuff. Go subscribe to them on all their channels. Everything, of course, will be linked in the description below.
Yeah,
Housekeeping.
Princess and Scoundrel. I love the name.
Princess.
Too.
Yeah, and you're wearing your.
I am wearing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Scoundrel.
Our,
I
love it.
just was like, let me wear my Star Wars shirt. That's cute.
We had a Star Wars
Wasn't even
wedding.
planned.
We had a Star Wars wedding, and we had Han and Leia on top of our wedding cake.
Yes.
Oh,
And then,
how fun.
Like for party favors, we gave everybody lightsabers.
Yeah.
So like
or as Amazon calls them, light swords.
yeah, so like the dance for all the dancing, the reception, everyone had lightsabers. It was
Yeah.
anyway.
That's super cool.
That's fun.
In
I don't know if
fact-
you can see it. I'm wearing my Juan Solo shirt.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I
Oh,
love
nice,
it.
nice.
I saw the orange and the yellow. I just couldn't make out what it was because it's kind of small on my side of the screen.
Oh,
So.
here,
Yeah.
this will help you. This will help you.
Oh, here.
Oh gosh.
Show
There
it.
you go.
Way better.
There you go. Now we
Oh,
can see it.
oh, I
Juan
love
Solo.
it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's
awesome.
hilarious.
So it's like a, I guess is Chewy's local?
Yeah,
Huh.
Chewy's is a Texas restaurant, but it's a Tex-Mex restaurant, and his
Oh,
blaster
nice.
is a pepper.
Oh my gosh.
Instead of the DL44, it's the
That's
pepper.
so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, I love it. I need that one.
Guys, housekeeping really quickly. We are going to get into this episode as soon as possible. You already know that Kenobi is coming out. Now, Kenobi, we are doing things a little bit differently. We're actually going to be breaking up all of our Kenobi coverage into 2 episodes. You know that you're going to be calling into the Cantina hotline to spin that We Back wheel every single week to win prizes. But we are going to be separating the actual coverage and the breakdown episodes and then all of our caller segments. And the reason for this is to give you guys more time to call in. We felt it was a little bit of a time constraint. Not everybody has the same schedule. So Kenobi coverage is literally going to start on the 28th, which is the Saturday. So our first 2 episodes of Kenobi are going to be on the 27th. And literally that Saturday, we are going to have 2 episodes for you guys. Don't forget, in the description, we have our phone number. You can call, leave us your hot take so that you can win prizes on the We Back wheel. Social media, guys, you already know, Concon's Cantina, YouTube, Facebook, all the normal stuff. The only place we are different is TikTok, which is Concon's Cantina Podcast. Head over to the TikTok. We have a ton of lightsaber videos and a ton of lightsaber codes for you guys. Guys, we have to talk about the sponsors of this episode, so we're going to do it right now. This episode of Concon's Cantina is sponsored by VaderSabers.com. Head over to VaderSabers.com to buy your very own custom lightsaber for yourself or maybe for someone you love. Head over there, exclusively selling Xeno Core lightsabers. What does that mean? That means these are pixel bladed lightsabers, everybody, not baselit stuff. Definitely giving you a better value than Disney sabers, being preloaded with over 16 fonts, blade profiles, tons of stuff for your sabers. Head over there, and they even have tiers if you don't know what to pick. We have the Padawan tier, the Jedi Knight tier, and the Jedi Master tier to help you make your selection. Once again, head over to VaderSabers.com. Use coupon code CANTINA for 5% off. This episode of Concon's Cantina is also sponsored by Kill Key Factory. Head over to Etsy.com/Kill Key Factory. Kill Key Factory is offering custom kill keys and blade retention screws in all other lightsaber accessories, such as belt clips and other things, guys. Head over there, use coupon code CANTINA for 10% off your order. Once again, offering blade retention screws, different colors, customizations. Etching is also an option, guys. Head over there, etsy.com/KillKeyFactory, coupon code CANTINA for 10% off your entire order. Of course, this episode of ConCon's Cantina is sponsored by our Patreon group. That is patreon.com/ConCon's Cantina. Over there, you can find exclusive content where we are covering other shows and not just Star Wars. So if you want to hear us talk about Marvel or anything else, new movies that are coming out, head over there for exclusive content. Right now, we are trying to push out 2 or more exclusive content episodes a month. Head over there, and special shout outs right now to Dylan LeBee for being our #1 Patreon at the moment. He just bumped up his subscription. Dude, we seriously appreciate it. You have no idea. Content creation takes a lot of time, and we very, very much appreciate the effort that you are putting in to support us. We love you. Thank you very much. Once again, ConCon's Cantina over on patreon.com. Patreon.com/ConCon's Cantina. All right. We're almost there, I promise. The agenda of this episode is, of course, Princess and Scoundrel. They're in the house. They're in the cantina. We're all sipping drinks together. And today we're gonna talk about their Star Wars saga, as we always do with new guests. They're gonna tell us where they started with Star Wars, what it means to them. And the main body of this episode is a little bit of Batuu talk and Hollywood studios. They recently had an episode that came out on April the 19th, which made me reminisce like super hard.
Yeah.
Because MGM was just Star Wars Central.
I still call it MGM sometimes,
I know,
honestly.
all the time. We're just like, we don't even say Hollywood sometimes. And that is what we're going to be talking about. But everybody, we are a Cantina podcast. So we're going to go into the Cantina right now.
Welcome to ConCon's Cantina. What are you having? But remember, no droids.
You know, I'm going to say princesses first, which is definitely you. And again, I'm going to let you guys decide who's the princess on the other side of the screen. But Natasha, tell everybody what you're drinking.
Well, it's a concoction that you just threw together really quick before we jumped on here. And it's a key lime LaCroix
Yes.
mixed with, I didn't do a whole shot and a half, but I did like a shot, a full nice to the rim shot of limoncello. It's actually pretty good. It tastes like a key lime pie drink.
It actually does kind of taste key lime pie-ish.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more sweet than I'd like it. If I had like
a
if I had like a fresh lime, I think it'd like really, really kick it over.
Yeah.
But
Maybe a
refreshing.
little vodka too would do it some good.
Yeah, to add some bitterness to it. I'll say like 4 out of 10 Mandos. It's not the best thing I've ever come up with.
I think because I put less limoncello, I'd probably bump it to 4.5.
4 and okay. We have
Not
a half
even 5.
Mando. We have a Mando that got cut in half. What about
Oh,
you guys?
man.
What are you guys drinking?
So we're drinking the same, well, not what you guys are drinking, but I made 2 very large beverages in our color changing cups. Like how, do you remember? Like when you
Yeah,
would get
that
those
is-
spoons in your cereal
Yeah.
and they would change colors. It's like a Mexican hangover drink.
Okay.
It
I'm
is
interested
Topo
already.
Chico. It's Topo Chico, simple syrup, tequila, salt, and lemon juice. It's really refreshing though.
Yeah.
It sounds fantastic.
It's really good. I would give it 7 out of 10 Mandos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I
have to
would too.
ask too because I love a good ranch water. So is that similar, like the style drink?
Yes, it's
Okay.
very similar to that. It's like
Yeah.
It's a make your own seltzer.
well,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think like a ranch water is a little bit more bitter, whereas this is sweeter because we put the simple
Yeah.
syrup.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's because that's something that you don't do with ranch water is you don't add the simple syrup unless you want to, but
Yeah.
it's also I think a little bit more lime juice to give it like it, someone asked me because it was so cloudy one time because I put so much lime juice in it. They were like, "Did you really put ranch in your ranch water?" And I was like, "I really did not do that." Have you ever tried it with the tahini?
No.
No, I
Okay.
have.
You have?
I,
How you
well, I
have?
tried
Oh,
this drink
so
with
good.
tahini.
Little
Yeah.
bit of tahini. Oh yeah, it'll set it
I
off.
was turned on to that by somebody I saw on Instagram do it, a friend of mine, and it stuck. And I can't do it without tahini now because it's just so it gives it that outer rim extra like spice
Yeah.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of the fruity drinks. I grew up eating tahini, and so any kind of fruit, I'm got to flavor it and put some tahini on it.
Yeah.
He loves the mango with the tahini.
Oh,
or the
Yeah,
spice.
like spicy
I can't
mangoes.
get into it. I want to so bad, but I just
Yeah,
can't.
it's so good. That's
Mm-mm.
one of my
Yes.
favorite snacks. Are you drinking the same thing, Steven?
Yes, I'm drinking the same thing. Sarah's
Different
my
color shades.
bartender.
I am.
Your bartender.
And,
Okay, look, she gave it a 7 out of 10 Mandos. Now we
what's
can
your
be
score?
adventurous. What's your rating?
The fact that it's in a straw, that the
Uh-huh.
Mando doesn't have to lift the helmet.
Yes, exactly.
It makes it that much more. I'll give it an 8.
8. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. There's one more Mando.
Accessibility.
Yeah, exactly. It's that
Yeah.
Mando. The helmet's a little too small.
Yeah.
So they can't
So.
they
Just
can't.
goes-
Yeah, they can't get it up with the straw. Yeah, it totally works. Guys, now is the time where we are going to talk about your Star Wars saga. This is something that we do on the Cantina every time we have somebody new. And, the basics is, where did you start with Star Wars? Where are you now with it? And what does it mean to you?
So I think I'll start with Star Wars because that was kind of my growing up. I remember having the very tail, like right before the special editions came out, VHS to cassettes, and watching them at my grandma's house. And, I would spend evenings over there, or many nights, but every night I'd just be watching A New Hope, Return of the Jedi, and at that time I wasn't crazy about Empire, but I still loved all the Star Wars.
Blasphemy,
And,
blasphemy. It's okay. It's okay. We
I was a
forgive
kid.
you.
I was
Yeah,
a
we
child.
forgive
I
you.
didn't understand. But no, I just kind of grew up around Star Wars and loving it, and kind of like many others, that was kind of the time of it wasn't cool to like Star Wars. You were a nerd and kind of keep it to yourself type of thing. And then Sarah and I got married, and I introduced her to
Fast
the-
forward, you didn't
Yes.
get married as kids.
yeah yeah fast forward.
Well, there's a time jump in there. It
Right.
came
Yes, there's-
across the screen. I'll add it in there.
And
10 years
but
later.
no, I introduced Sarah to Star Wars, and she fell in love with. I think it was Clone Wars that we really like. That was like your Star Wars that you were able to like watch it as I watched it type of
Yeah.
thing. And having Ahsoka, that was kind of like the cool character that we both looked at. And then the sequels, that's our kids, my son, that was his like first Star Wars movie, and seeing BB and building a droid, like it just kind of like became part of our lives. And then we were able to kind of blossom and say like, hey, we like Star Wars, and everybody was okay with it, and it wasn't a keep it in the closet type of thing.
Yeah.
That's what's so cool now too, is like, same thing. VHS is, watching the originals as a kid, and Return of the Jedi was always my favorite. And then when the prequels came out, it was this big deal. I was 9 years old seeing Phantom Menace. Had a little Luke costume. My mom went to Walmart. This is before Super Walmart. Bought one of the stitching patterns and made me a costume. And it's just cool to hear like, the sequels kind of get some hate, but it's nice because so did the prequels. And now with Kenobi coming up, it's kind of like all the people that grew up, and that's like their generation of Star Wars. It's like they're getting their time. And now it's cool to see younger kids enjoy the sequels. And same thing will happen. Newer Star Wars will come out. Sequels will be older, and, they'll have their time basically.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
What
Yeah, I
about
think
you,
that was
Sarah?
one of the funny things that Sarah and I always talked about was when the original trilogy was out, everybody loved it. Prequels came out, and there was hate. There was hate around it, and I was still younger, so I didn't understand. You just kind of like, okay, I guess it's not liked, and then the sequels come out, and those were cherished. The prequels were the greatest thing ever, and now the sequels are trash. And I was like, I think we need to kind of take a step back and
Just calm down,
appreciate
everybody.
appreciate
We need
what
a
we
break. We just
have.
need a break. Yeah.
Take a breather.
Yeah. Well, it's like, the sequels, they're not my favorite movies. But Disney has done just so much for Star Wars. And I mean, if that's not what we're talking about tonight, really, I don't know what is. I mean, Mandalorian has been received so well. Book of Boba Fett was received well. we have all these other shows coming out. Mandalorian or Clone Wars season 7 was absolutely ridiculous. You know, like literally taking live action with people in mocap like it's a video game
Yeah.
and putting it in Clone Wars is just why
Unreal.
haven't we been doing this
Right,
so
the
much
whole
longer?
time.
You know, it's crazy. What about you, Sarah? What's your little saga?
Yeah, so I mean, you covered most of it, Steven, but I do have a brother that also grew up. What he was, yeah, he grew up watching the original Star Wars, and so he tried to push it on me. My brother's 11 years older than me. He tried to push it on me, and I was like, yeah. And so I was like aware of it, watched the prequel trilogies in theaters, but it wasn't something that I really like fell in love with too much. And then Steven was like, no, you're gonna like this. And we started watching
No
Clone
choice,
Wars
no choice.
together. No choice. We started watching Clone Wars together, and that was cool. But then it was really when our son was born and watching the sequel trilogies and just being able to really connect with the Star Wars movie as it's coming out and as the whole world is experiencing it. And one of my big things is like the anticipation of something that's coming out, and the anticipation leading up to the sequel trilogies was just like unmatched. I don't think we've ever had that kind of lead up to Star Wars before Force Awakens came out. So when it did come out, we loved it, fell in love with BB. Steven built a full life-size BB-8 droid. And that's actually what kind of led us to our Disney story as well. Is he had the opportunity to display him at Celebration Orlando in 2017, and so we drove to Florida to display him, and we're like, well, we're going and we're bringing our 2-year-old son. Let's go to Disney. While we're there, I have never been before, and because of Star Wars, now we are also Disney obsessed.
Yes. It's funny because you talked about that story on your episode, talking about you know, Hollywood and what it used to be with Star Wars. And when Launch Bay was still open, I have a picture with me with BB-8 when he was
Oh,
in
yeah.
Launch Bay, and I am
Yeah.
just sunburned to all get
Oh,
out.
gosh.
I am the same color
red
as
as a microphone.
BB-8. Yeah, just like he's
Beaming.
orange, I'm red. Like it was so cool. But I mean, we'll get to it later in the episode. But Launch Bay is coming back, which is just super exciting.
Yes.
And you know, speaking of your love for Disney, I'm actually somebody who kind of took Disney for granted. I've lived in Orlando my entire life. My family always worked for Disney, including myself. I used to work for the Reedy Creek Improvement District, actually. And so, like, growing up with Disney, like in my mid to late teens, I was just like so over Disney, like I didn't want to go anymore. And then when we got married, it was such a big deal for you.
Yeah, I mean, even when we were dating, because I worked there for a time too, but we're not going to talk about that. So, but yeah, I've grew up. I mean, my family, we grew up in Florida, and we would go pretty frequently with the whole family, my grandparents, my cousins, my aunt, uncle. We would just go. Then they would do Fort Wilderness trips, and
We still
stay-
do Fort Wilderness.
Well, that started happening more recently because my dad was like, we're bringing Disney back. So
Yeah.
that was a whole like family reunion thing that we started doing a few years back. And I never stopped loving it. I always had a good memory associated with Disney, and that never stopped. Even when I worked for them, that wasn't bad. The only reason I'm not talking about it is because it's just boring. So, but when we were dating, we went because, you know, when you work there, you get the pass, you can go in and
Get
explore
family
for-
members in, all that kind of
you
stuff.
don't have to pay to go. So when we stopped working there, we didn't pay to. Well, I paid to go forever. I was doing it when they had the gold pass, and that was the no blockout dates, it was the Incredi pass, whatever it is now, is what I had then, but it was a lot cheaper, like literally half price. We're not gonna talk about that either. But
Really,
yeah.
and what energized me, and a big thing that we're going to talk about is Batuu.
Yeah, we got back on the kick.
Yeah.
And, oh, that's what happened.
Yeah,
Quick little fun story, really quick. I'll make it short. I have had a pass forever. He refused to get one. And it was, I think, Labor Day weekend. It was September. And I, no joke, was like, we're gonna go to Batuu.
We went at like 3:00 in the afternoon.
I hadn't
like
been at
all
all
day. She's
yet.
like, let's go. And I was like, no, I'm not going. I'm not
literally
going.
was
I'm
like-
not doing it.
I was like jumping on the bed. I was like, let's
She's
go.
like, let's go. I was like, fine. We get there and we walk straight back,
He had
through
all
Hollywood
intentions of
Studios.
not liking
Yeah,
it
I was like,
either.
I'm not gonna
Oh
have
my
a good time. I
gosh.
was like,
this is gonna be lame.
I was like, I don't think Disney's not gonna pull it off. And I saw the Falcon and I cried.
yeah.
That was it.
And then he was
That
like,
was it.
That was it. That
I
was
don't
it.
even think you waited to just get the whole annual pass. You kind of were just like, we'll see.
Yeah,
I
like I
guess.
bought a
Like,
ticket to
I'll
get
let
in
the
that
year go,
day,
I guess.
and then it was literally the next time we went. I was like, sign
Yeah.
up. Got a pass.
Upgrade it to the annual. It's fine.
So talking about Batuu in general, how much do you guys love Batuu? I mean, is it more Disney for you guys? Like for me, that's probably my biggest draw to Disney currently,
Yes, it is.
as opposed to like new Disney to old Disney. But what's your guys' favorite part of Batuu?
Oh, that's a hard question. It's all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
So Hollywood Studios, like we're newer park goers. We've only been going since 2017.
Mhm.
So it was before Galaxy's Edge opened, but even then, Hollywood Studios was like hands down our favorite park because it had
Yeah.
so much
Same.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
yes,
And then I had my beloved Tower of Terror.
Yes.
Yep.
It was even before Toy Story Land. But it's just
Yeah.
a good park. And with them adding Batuu onto that, it was just like, okay, so you just took our favorite thing to do in Disney and made it even more enjoyable to the point where like
Mhm.
sometimes we go on trips and we have to pull ourselves away to go to other parks. Like it's just
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
something magnetic about Batuu that
Yeah.
just it pulls you in, and it's like we've got blue milk, we've got Ronto wraps,
course.
like come on back. And you're like,
Yeah.
okay, sure. Well, let us scan our magic band, just take our money.
Yeah. You said milk. So do you have a preference, blue or green?
Blue,
Yeah. Blue.
big time.
Both
I
both
am-
blue. You're blue. I'm
I love
green.
blue.
I'm the only, I guess I'm the minority in that. I love green. I love
Yeah.
the green milk more than the
The
blue.
last
It's the
time-
citrus.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
No, the last couple times I've had it, it's grown on me. But out of the two, I will always pick blue. Always.
Yeah, same.
Like if
Same.
have
I
to
don't
choose,
mind either of them.
And to your point, speaking of MGM before it was Hollywood, we had Star Wars weekends.
Mhm.
Launch Bay
Yeah,
was
Galactic.
Yeah, we had
What's it called?
Nights.
Yeah, thank you.
yeah,
My brain.
Galactic Nights. We had the giant stage in front of Chinese theater,
Mhm.
and we had the whole character show.
Yeah,
And
all of it.
I do think that it's a little odd when Disney made Batuu that they time locked it. And obviously, we understand why, right? We're pairing it with the sequels. I just think that Disney would have made more money by not time locking Batuu.
Oh yeah, well now they're trying to make their bank with the Star Cruiser. Excuse me. So
Yeah.
they're trying to now, I think, make up for what they lost. And then with Star Cruiser, I think that's just what they were trying to do with growing the foundation of profit. Because you could do a lot more with Batuu if you hadn't time locked it, and you wouldn't have to solely rely on a hotel experience.
I wouldn't say you have to solely rely on the hotel experience.
No, I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about like people in charge, people who are making the money from it.
The only thing that that kind of stinks is like, do you guys remember when Batuu was announced and they talked about it being like the immersive experience? Like, did you guys get to play the data pad game like before the Star
Oh,
Cruiser
yeah.
and stuff?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just it kind of it stinks a little bit because I feel like they moved away from that like a lot.
Yeah, they did.
Because of the Star Cruiser, and we're trying to go next year. That's our goal. Is next year we want to be able to go. I have my own Mandalorian cosplay, and when I saw other Mandos on the Star
Mhm.
Cruiser, I was like, oh, I'm done. Like I'm
Yeah.
going
That's
because I can't wear my Mando inside Batuu. I can't
Right.
I can't wear the armor in the parks, which is understandable. It's safety reasons, a bunch of stuff like that. But yeah, just time locking Batuu. I don't know. I think it's a little weird. I'd like to see more
Odd choice.
like the Star Tours area in Hollywood. Obviously, you guys are
Yes.
familiar with that. I wish they'd bring that back a little bit more, which I think they're going to. Like Launch Bay got re-announced, as opening again, so we're going to see legacy characters again.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that was to kind of go back a little bit of our appreciation for Disney and kind of just like a a respect for it is like Sarah went to school for marketing, and I didn't go to school, but during that, like, we were dating at the time, so
And
I
I
kind of
talk a lot.
we talk a lot about marketing. But Disney is just like amazing with their marketing, and we're
Yeah.
always in awe of like how they uh, just market themselves. Or I mean, they don't market themselves; they have us basically be their marketers.
Yeah.
And when they're selling products, they've got that supply and demand like nailed down. Like they have enough where people could get enough, but there's still that aftermarket. And
Yeah.
so I think that's one of those things that you just kind of like, you have to respect that they kind of know what they're doing. The part
Oh,
that
yeah.
I think they kind of get selfish, I guess you would
Mhm.
say, is like you said, they made Batuu time locked, but it was kind of the whole thing, I think, was based off of Star Cruiser.
Yeah.
Star
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cruiser was the main attraction, and Batuu was the supplement to it.
Mhm.
And the way the timing came out, it didn't work, because once you go on Star Cruiser, you're going to see that
Oh.
Batuu is
Just that
part
much
of Star
better.
Cruiser. Well, it's part of Star
Yeah.
Cruiser, not Star
Yeah,
Okay,
not
Cruiser
the
is
other
part
way
of Batuu.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And but like we all know, yes, we like the sequel, or we like the time, and we like the immersion of it, but we want, I want just a Yoda. I want,
Mhm.
some other, I want a Jar Jar. I want all these
Yeah.
a Maul. I want these other characters, and how do I get it?
Yeah.
And I think Launch Bay was good.
Mhm.
Or it was sort of good. I mean, it was good because it had that. And before Batuu, it was an IP that they had, or
Yeah.
that they were able to use. And I think that's why we saw so much, because they're like, hey, because I think even before that, when we were researching it, I don't know if you guys ever got to go when like Mickey was dressed up as a Jedi and all
Oh yeah, I
the.
mean
I've seen
Star
it.
Wars weekends.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like so we never had weekend passes once we started going together. So, because I went to weekday passes years ago. So anything that they did on the weekends, specialized, even like Dapper Day stuff that all kind of tied into specialized events on the weekends, we never were able to go. I've seen pictures galore. In fact, when we went over there the other night, it was empty, but you have that little platform that they walk down in, and they have
Yeah, the last
the
time
meet
you
and
guys
greet.
were there, did they have all that stuff closed off, like all of it, like in
Where?
Launch Bay?
It wasn't closed off. It was open. Well,
You can't
couldn't
go
go
into
into
Launch Bay, but
yeah.
the courtyard where
Yeah.
you have like the meet and greets with the Disney
Yeah,
Junior
yeah.
characters were there,
Mhm.
and that was about it.
You could
Yeah,
go into the
that's-
shop.
Oh,
Oh,
Kinda-
could you?
Yeah.
See, now
See,
the
okay.
gift shop's completely gone now.
yeah.
They
Okay,
even
so they
Okay.
reopened
Yeah.
where you can walk through as if you were going to go do the meet and greets with the characters, so you can see
The
all the
museum area
memorabilia,
is what I'd
all
call
that's
it.
open.
Oh.
Yeah, but the gift shop is done.
Yeah, that
Like,
they
it's
got rid of
gone.
the gift shop. I'm just excited for it to come back. I didn't mean to interrupt you though, Steven.
Yeah. No, and that was the thing, is like before they had like the Donald and Mickey in Jedi garb. Once they acquired that IP, they couldn't do that anymore. So then they said, okay, now that we have the IP, let's have the temple, the kids playing over here
Yeah,
next
yeah,
to
yeah.
Star
Mhm.
Tours launch bay. They had as much Star Wars as they can, because
Yeah.
they were anticipating the Batuu opening.
Mhm.
And I think they kind of just said, okay, now that it's open, we could open up our rest of our park. And it's like, well, no, like, we still like Star Wars. Like,
Yeah.
give us the
Yeah.
rest of it.
Yeah, we want that back, please. But I think
Yeah.
in the conversation of like time locking Batuu and the immersion, because like when it first opened up, people were going and dressing up and getting into it and learning to play sabacc with some of the cast members out there. But it almost seems like there's like levels of immersion that Disney is offering in terms of Star Wars. Like what we
Mhm.
had in the parks before with Star Wars, with Launch Bay, with Star Tours, with the little cute Jedi training thing that they
Mhm.
did. That's just like something that everybody can go do and they can experience. And you don't necessarily have to be a Star Wars fan. You're just like, oh, look, another attraction.
Yeah, yeah.
That too takes it a step further. And it's like, if you want to get into it, it's going to enhance your experience. And it's fun. And you can do all of these things if you want to. And you can do the data pad. You can translate all of the stuff everywhere. Again, you don't have to. And
Yeah.
I think that's where Star Cruiser really took it to the fullest level of immersion, was just like, go play, go be in Star
Mhm.
Wars, because that's exactly what it is like you are in you really feel like you're in a Star Wars
Yeah.
story.
You're literally I'm
Yeah.
smiling because like when I first went to Batuu, do you guys know Ashley and Brian Always Believe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, when they started making bounding videos,
Oh yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm done. I can do this. And local
Mhm.
seamstress, I got a jacket from Batuu. I made the sleeves removable. I velcroed the zippers so that you can't see zippers. I got pants, like a Han Solo belt, lightsaber clips, like
The whole shebang.
like
The whole outfit.
how Jen Erso has her hood scarf thing. Like
Oh,
I did this
yeah.
whole Disney bounding, and every time I go to Hollywood, I wear it every time. The temperature does not matter. I'm in it and I'm wearing it. And it's so fun. I make this joke. I'm like, I could be like a plaid shirt, but just for Batuu.
Oh,
so like,
like a
yeah, yeah.
VIP tour guy.
Yeah. So like you
Yeah.
come into Batuu and it's like, like I have like an accent and whatever. And like, because there was that level of immersion of the rising sun. And just like you said, we had cast members, and in Batuu East, we still have a lot of that. Like we were just there for May the 4th, and there were 3 off-duty staff members playing sabacc with people.
That's cool.
And it was so cool because they have like their own Facebook group too, and they give out 3D printed credits and a bunch of stuff like
Oh,
that.
cool.
So it's really, really cool. I'm super excited. The immersion, I think, is there, and I think that we have to admit that probably COVID messed some of that stuff up.
Yeah.
Where what they had planned, and just like you said, Steven, maybe the timeline, the idea of the hotel was probably even before Batuu. I'm really excited. Like I said, next year where I really want to go. I really, really want to go.
I think as fans too, like as people who go and who love Star Wars, are part of that immersion. Like if you're not into it, it's not going to be as immersive. Like if you go there and you're like, if he's bounding or you're dressed up and you're there really just soaking in every bit of the experience, you're going to attract that same attention from other people, especially locals or even people who are visiting. So,
and
if
even
they
from the
come next
stormtroopers.
time, yeah. Oh yeah. Cause that what happened on May 4th is they're not down on the ground again yet walking around, but up on the towers and stuff over by like Savvy's workshop. They're very interactive, especially with Chewie and Rey too. So I think as long as you're almost acting as if you work there in that sense of part of that super experience, anybody else is going to pull into that. Like you said, it's something that attracts you to Batuu and you get sucked in. That same energy is going to get you're going to give that same energy to other people, and they're going to want to be part of that too, which is going to make it that much more exciting, I think.
How much did you guys sleep on the Star Cruiser?
We didn't.
We did not.
That's it. That's it. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna sleep. I'm gonna find.
No.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So I think you get I think we got 4 hours.
I get a little
Right.
bit more because we took the kids,
Yeah.
so I would
Whole
take them
weekend?
back.
Or the whole
Yeah.
2 days?
Each
whole thing.
night.
Gosh.
4 nights each night, or 4
Oh,
hours
okay,
each
okay.
night. But yeah, you took the kids.
Because they shut down the
The story pretty much ends at
but the sublight lounge closes at midnight or
it
1?
closes at 1 the first night and 2 the second night, I think, or vice versa. But the story ends around 10 or 11 each night. And so after that time, people start
Mhm.
going back to their cabins and it's dead, except for the sublight lounge. So if you want to get those
Mhm.
really cool pictures, that's the time to do it.
Yeah.
It's late at night. And so that's what I would do is I would stay up late and
Mhm.
get a bunch
Pictures.
of pictures and video and stuff like that and just hang
Hey.
out. But yeah, you don't sleep.
Yeah,
Just be prepared.
that's a
So,
huge thing.
No sleep.
That's a huge thing with me too. I'll have to send you guys a couple of pictures. Like going to Batuu and taking pictures. My mom was a photographer, and so I grew up around photography. And that is just one of the most fun things is to go to Batuu, and that's really one of the most exciting things that I'm looking forward to for the Star Cruiser. But I also don't want to. I don't want to take away the experience because I want to make not necessarily make content, but I want those cool pictures, but I also really, really want to do the story. Because even on my data pad now, I wish they'd update it a little bit because I've done the same missions over and over and over again. So I'm almost maxed out smuggler. And I'm just excited to have my own story, really,
Yeah.
with the Star Cruiser, and sleeping is not an option.
No.
I'll
Yeah,
find
you
something to
just-
do.
Yeah.
Just
You
get
will.
B12 shots over and over again.
Yeah.
Well, they are bringing that Magic Band Plus technology
Yes.
to Disney World sometime this summer, and they are going to have that Batuu Bounty Hunters Guild. Is that what they call it? I don't remember exactly what they're calling it, but it is going to add to the data pad for Batuu, where you're gonna, I forget what it is. There's like a touch point, and you get a bounty, and then it's gonna like vibrate as you get close to the right
That's
door, and you
exciting.
scan
That's
it.
perfect plan.
Yeah. So remember how when we were there on the 4th and they had the wood wall up with the weird logo.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
they're like she's saying it's you know how like when I'd scan a door, like and the door would light up and all that stuff. With those new bands, I have to show you the video.
Okay.
But anyway,
Yeah,
yeah,
so I
that
haven't seen yet.
I'm super excited about that.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a really really cool addition because one of the things that they advertised with Batuu to begin with was when you walked into the park, somehow cast members would know your allegiance. That was like a big marketing point based on
Yeah.
how you chose to do missions. And again, you know, it didn't pan out like that, but there's still you know, there's still a group of people that are there, and that's one of my favorite things to do is, you know, we'll go with people, or we even went with friends of ours like a month ago, 2.5 months ago or so. And I was like, do you guys know about the data pad? And they had no idea. And so we were standing in Batuu East near the bathrooms where they have the really, really big satellite tower by the milk. And I was like, watch this. And so I pulled out the phone and I did the scan thing. And, you know, then it starts making all
That
the
was awesome.
sounds and
Yeah.
oh dude,
Yeah.
and people are like, everyone's like looking
Everyone's
up, like
where
they have
who are
no
doing
idea
that?
like why it's doing it. And it's just so cool. And you get to show people stuff. So like that level of immersion, like it is what you make it. And I know that you guys definitely made the most out of your Galactic cruise. Do you feel like there were people on there that couldn't get into the immersion? Does that make sense?
I don't think so. It's especially since it was so early. I think everybody was like wanting to be a part because I think we talked about this, but most people went dressed up. They had some kind of costume, some kind of cosplay, and the people that didn't, we noticed that they would pick up some of the or they did have it. They were just kind of maybe shy and didn't, showing up because I mean we showed up in costume.
Mhm.
Some
Yeah,
people
yeah.
didn't. But later on in the evening, you saw them having some kind of,
Get up.
scarf on just to kind of get
Yeah.
in the mood. And it's either made them feel comfortable that everybody else was dressed up, and that could have been some kind of insecurity that they had. But everybody's comfortable. Everybody's, you see
It's like a
everybody.
safe space.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
feels
Yeah.
very safe. You could be a nerd and you could say
can,
like,
Yeah.
hey, that's an
Let your
awesome
nerd
costume, and
Yeah.
people, you could tell people put a lot of work into what they were, the detail that they were doing. Because I remember there was somebody, they had a cape and it had the Halcyon logo, like
hmm
not embroidered, but like it was a print where it was like, really small, a small
Yeah.
detail that you wouldn't know unless you were looking at it.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you could say, oh man, that's really cool. And you could show that it's awesome. And the person, like, you could tell that they kind of
Like,
take
they
a
took
sigh of relief,
pride
like,
in
oh,
it.
like
Yeah.
they're proud of it.
Yeah.
So
But
It's
at
the
the
nerd
same
flag
time,
that gets to fly.
Yeah.
at the same time though, like if you didn't want to immerse yourself in it and like really get involved with the story, and there's going to be elements of the story that like everybody's involved in on Star Cruiser. And I know we're not talking about
Mhm.
Star Cruiser, so I'll keep it brief. There's elements of the story that
I
everyone's
don't mind it.
gonna
I'm
see,
Yeah.
enjoying it.
which is like the big overarching story.
Yeah.
But then if you choose to, and you choose to talk to the characters and interact with them, you get to go on these like side quests that tie into the bigger story. If you
Mhm.
don't want to do that, you're not missing out necessarily, because there's so much to do on the ship, and just like honestly just look at and like sit in, take in, because it's
Yeah.
so beautiful
yeah.
that I don't know how you can go have a bad time on this thing if you're going into it with the right mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you're like deliberately trying to just say, I'm going to go and sit down and not have fun, it's
Yeah.
possible.
You could do
But
that
yeah.
anywhere.
It's gonna
It's a
stink.
really expensive place to sit down and
Yeah.
have a bad time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
not.
And that's the thing. Like I even again, like, a thing that concerned me, but I've just seen so many people, and this kind of goes back to, like Hollywood MGM with Star Wars weekends and stuff. If you think of Batuu, the barrier to entry is like $110, right? So like to get in and to immerse yourself, and then you have the ability to ride 2 rides. and see a couple of characters, that's not a bad barrier to entry. And a thing that concerned me about the Star Cruiser was the price tag and how much better is it than Batuu. And it's like a double-edged sword because I had to watch like all that I could watch on it. And so I feel like I know, and I'm sure I don't, but I feel like I know the majorities of the stories. And that was another thing I was going to ask you guys. Do you guys feel that with your data pass, did you guys have things that you got, Steven, or that you got, Sarah, or vice versa, like different stuff?
Yeah.
Yes. And it's generally the same, path. Like my kind of video game, like it's going to follow a same path and it's going to get to the same ending, but sometimes it's just going to be said in a different way, or you're going to do it in a different order. And I think there's touch points of like when you meet characters and you talk to characters, you're gonna meet them, but it doesn't mean that they're gonna say the same thing or do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because they kind of move people around. So you're gonna say, we're gonna meet the captain now, and in 30 minutes, a different group is meeting the captain in a different part of the ship, and it's kind of telling us the same thing, but moving to a different point.
Yeah.
So we're all kind of getting the same story and being led to that same end, but
at the same time, like not
it's
at all.
not the same.
Like everybody,
Yeah.
like literally every single person on that
And
a
the thing
voyage is going to have a different
is like
story.
the input from the guests is what changes it as well, because the cast member, the characters, they'll remember your name and hey, we need to cause a distraction. What kind of distraction? Some kids are piping up, oh, we should do this, we should do that.
Yeah.
You're causing a distraction however someone suggested. So sometimes they'll have like, here, we're going to do this, or do whatever. And again, I don't want to give anything away, but they change it up just a slightly, and so it's just unique to you or to your
really cool.
your voyage. So
But that is where, like, when you talked about with Galaxy's Edge, how your allegiance would follow you around the land. It didn't really happen with Galaxy's Edge. 100% happens with Star Cruiser. Like, they know what side you align with, what missions you're doing.
Yeah.
Croy didn't talk to us at all.
Aw.
So because we weren't no first order on this side, and
Yeah.
we talked to him I think once, and then we would get harassed every once in a while, but
That was it.
that was it. And so
Yeah,
I don't
I
know
do think
any of
that's
the
cool.
first order story. So.
Yeah. Yeah, just what we've
And-
seen from videos.
Yeah, and see, that's where
The pick.
Yeah, that's where you kind of have to pick. I mean, I already feel like that I wouldn't pick the first order storyline. What was it like going to Batuu with the Star Cruiser based on the fact that you'd already been to Batuu? Would you have rather, like, do you have the choice to stay on the ship or to continue your story? Do you have to go off planet, or go on planet, I should say?
Yeah. You do have to go to Batuu, which is,
I think you have to ride the rides to get the touch points, because the rides are missions like Smuggler's Run. You're getting coaxium for
Part of
Star
what
Cruiser.
Part of the story. Yeah. Gotcha. No, it makes sense. And that it's kind of the same thing. Like, right when you walk into Batuu and you open up the datapad game, that's like the first thing it prompts you to do is like, oh, Hondo needs, people needs a flight crew, and you accept the mission. So it's very, very similar to that.
but there's other things as part of the Batuu excursion. So to touch on it really quickly, they're dropping you in a point, you're entering Batuu at a point that you've never entered before, which is like smack dab in the middle of the land. You're not entering it from Toy Story Land or from Muppet Vision area. And so it just feels different from the onset. And then, yes, you ride the rides, but you're doing missions that are specific to Star Cruiser, and the characters from Star Cruiser are asking you to play out these missions. So they're different than the ones that you would be playing on your datapad.
Yeah.
And so for you to continue on with those stories, you have to go to Batuu and do those things. And it seems like, okay, I've been to Batuu so many times. I can ride the rides. I can get my missions done really quickly, and I can get back on the ship. If you're dressed up and you're going, like, people are stopping you and asking you what Star Cruiser's like. They're asking if you work there and where Ova's is, and like all these things. It takes a long time on Batuu, because we were like, let's get back on the ship. And of course, Rise was down the morning that we were there, so that delayed us a little bit too. But you have to do it, because in my opinion, it changes Batuu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you don't see it the same way because it feels completely different, and then you
Yeah.
don't even know you're in a park because you know how it's like they're set back pretty far, like from Toy Story Land and from that tunnel.
Yeah, that whole walk area is
So you don't even see it.
Yeah,
No,
it's
yeah.
pretty big. Like I was surprised they added that much beyond, kind of like the staging area.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot back there, like where you get off your transport.
Oh yeah, it's a long walk, surprisingly,
Mhm.
from the transport. I thought it was just gonna like plop us like right there by the milk stand, and no.
It's a nice little tunnel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was cool, though.
speaking of immersion, whenever we go to Batuu, we always she has a superpower, by the way. This is a legit superpower. I don't know how it works. She can get a Oga's reservation the day we go. Like, people talk horror stories about planning their vacation months in advance and they can't get into Oga's. I don't know why it is. Like we're driving
We were
to
driving
Hollywood
to
on May the
Hol-
4th, and I was like, hey, you should just check, like we need to
and there
we need
was
to get a drink.
nothing.
And there was nothing, and she opens up her phone and boom, there's one. And we
I was just
and we got
it's
in.
funny because I was holding my phone and I'm like, there's nothing here. And so I just kind of got distracted and was talking to him and I looked down and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm as best I
So
can.
so that's her superpower. And the immersion part is every time you walk into Oga's, the cast member usually says, hey, are you familiar with Oga's rules? And I always go, yeah. She added those. I sold her the bar, like, because it's the cantina, right? So I have this
Yeah.
whole thing about how I sold Oga the bar, and there's the little like studio apartment like right above, and so like
Yeah.
I do this whole little tiny tangent, and it's funny because you'll get some cast members that like really like play it back with you, and it's really really fun. So that's the stuff that
Yeah, I think cast member interaction is a big part of the immersion as
yeah,
well.
it's so good. We haven't been to California Disney.
I want to go so bad.
But I always hear people say that Batuu West is better than Batuu East. That's what I hear
Maybe.
as a consensus. I don't know how true it is, but speaking of California Disney and all the other parks, let's get into just general Disney park discussion. Do you guys have a favorite park besides Hollywood? Because I think you already said it was Hollywood.
You're like, we really have to ask?
Yeah.
I mean, it's Hollywood. Like,
Yeah.
there's no even close second for me.
I think it kind of just depends on the trip that we go on. Because
Mhm.
sometimes, going to Magic Kingdom and just kind of feeling, I guess,
Disney
nostalgic
magic,
and
or the,
yeah, just
Yeah.
the
Disney.
sprinkle of nostalgia. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Or like
that's
watching
what it
the
feels.
fireworks. Like if you want to watch
Mhm.
fireworks, you want to go to Magic Kingdom. Or if you want to like sit down, you can go ride the People Mover and just hang out.
Yeah. I love
Carousel of
I
Progress.
love Carousel. It's a great big beautiful. I love Carousel Progress.
It's
And
his
it's
favorite.
actually my friend Jonathan Kuhn's favorite ride too. No, he hates the ride, so I always give him a hard time. Like, we'll walk around Magic Kingdom and I'll sing the song the whole day.
he gets so mad.
Yeah, he gets so mad. No, Hollywood for sure is my favorite part. Close second for me is Animal Kingdom, because Animal Kingdom's just so cool.
And we never even go to Animal Kingdom, which really stinks. Like we do not go there enough.
Well, with weekday passes, Animal Kingdom like literally closes at like 6
That's
o'clock
true.
because the
Yeah.
sun goes down.
After work, it's hard to get over there. in
Yeah, so we
time.
can only go during the summer, and even during the summer, it's still the first park to close.
Mhm.
So we
Oh,
really
yeah, it
have
closes
to.
at like 6 o'clock over the summer.
No, it's 7.
Well, that's where
Well,
I worked.
anyway, we
Which
still-
Have you
is-
guys been to the Nomad Lounge?
Ugh.
Okay, he has not.
I have not.
I have. Love it.
That's what everybody
It is
says.
One of my
Amazing.
favorite places ever. I could go to Animal Kingdom and just stay like how I would in Batuu with Hollywood Studios. I could just stay in Pandora
Yeah,
in that
Yeah.
section
It's so
for
sick.
the whole time.
It's
I love it.
gorgeous.
yeah.
I just could, if you could just have me as my own bike on Flight of Passage, no one can touch it. I just stay on it the whole time for hours and hours.
Oh
and
my
hours.
God.
I'm with
I'd be
you.
so
I'm with
happy.
you, Touch. I'll be on the
Yeah.
the next one next to it.
Ugh.
I've always that's like the
See,
secret,
Sarah, that's me.
the superpower I've
one
always wanted
time,
to have
that's
is
it.
to fly. So I'm like, I get to fly like for real, and I get to feel it and smell it and whatever, all of it. I'm just like, oh.
Did you
gosh, I
see
wish
they're
it was
coming
real
out with a
life.
candle?
Are you?
They're
No.
coming out with a candle. Yeah, Flight of Passage candle is going to be in the gift shop.
Great.
I know
like
he
20.
is so excited about it.
So we talked about this. I love Star Wars, and I love
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know I like I love Rise and all that, but
Yeah.
Flight of Passage, it's just because it
different
feels more personal. Like
Yeah.
it's just you. Like it's amazing, and I guess maybe it is a flying thing. Like it just feels different, and
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
my all time favorite ride right now.
Yes.
So
I'm really hoping that with Tron, because what's cool about Flight of Passage is I don't like Soarin', but I do like Flight of
Because of the
Passage.
feet.
I know. See,
I
she
don't
hates.
like the feet.
She
I have to
hates
be on the
feet
top,
too.
bro.
Yeah, she's
I
got to be
need
at the top. Yeah.
And even then, I'm like tucking my feet. I'm like, nobody look at my feet.
Right?
No,
Don't
Not
look at
even
my
my
feet. I
shoes.
will
you
look at
get
it's just never been my favorite. Like to me, like as cliche as it sounds, I feel like the ride was always so kind of like overhyped in a way. It was just never. But I do love Flight of Passage. That was my
Wrong.
point. And I do like Flight of Passage because like what you were saying, Steven, I love the saddle that you sit in, and
You feel it breathing.
yeah, like
Yes.
it is so so
So
cool, and it gives me hope. And there's also like a story with the ride. Like it's the coolest queue by far.
Yeah.
Like as
I
much
love
as I
that
love
queue.
Smuggler's Run and Rise of Resistance, there's still something because Star Wars is so familiar to me now because it's just Star Wars for so long. So
It's part of you.
yeah, it's part of me. But to go to Pandora and being in these queues and the rocks are hanging and stuff, like
All the lights.
yeah,
When
it's cool.
at night. It just
At
makes
night?
me
at night, yeah.
teary-eyed a
Yeah.
little every time.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm hoping that with Tron having the kind of like
Being
the
on the
same
bike. Yeah.
as long as they like introduce some story, I think it'll give
A similar effect.
I think it'll give
I hope
Flight
it
of
feels like
Passage a
I'm
run
in the
for its
video
money.
game. I hope
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
it feels like.
That'd be
Right.
cool.
Yeah.
That'd be
That'd
neat.
be really, really cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a favorite Disney memory?
Ooh.
I'll let you go first.
You're let me go first. Oh, don't make me go first. I'm really bad with like favorites.
Uh-huh.
Like I just have
Fine.
like a bunch of memories that I like hold dear to me. Like one of them, we were on like the trails in Animal Kingdom with our son. He was probably, I don't know, like 2 or 3 at the time. And we were in the bats area and we were talking to a cast member. He was really great. And we said, oh, goodbye. We were going to leave. And our kid just like eats it and like hits his head and starts crying. And I'm like, oh man, like scoop him up. We're leaving to, try to remove a crying child from, ruining people's days.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
walking out and the cast member comes up to us and he was like, oh, I'm so sorry you hurt your head. Like, are you okay? Checking on him. And he's like, well, since you hurt your head, maybe you can't see as well. And he like reaches into his bag and grabs these like little cheap binoculars and hands
Aw.
him. He's like, maybe this will help you see, and just hands him to our son. And I'm just like, oh, like
Yeah.
it was the sweetest thing because it was one, he tied it into like, oh, you hurt your head, you can't see, here's some binoculars.
Yeah, yeah.
But just the fact that one, he had that ready and like he wants to create that magic for people, and that
Yeah.
we were lucky enough to be recipients of that little bit of magic that he was able to create for us was just, it's like
Yeah.
it's those little moments that are just these like personal, we keep talking about how everything's personal, I swear we like people, but like
Yeah.
these personal magic moments that
Uh-huh.
just, that's Disney, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is
It
the
really
Disney
is.
magic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the little things like that for me.
Yeah. No,
I had-
for me, it's my seeing my son watch the fireworks, like happily ever after. Like
Yeah.
it was just like
Oh, don't bring it up.
Jonathan's
Don't
gonna
bring it
love
up.
that.
Happily ever. Yeah. Bring it back.
yes, I
Bring
it
agree.
back.
Bring it back.
And then
I
Star
do like
Cruiser.
Enchanted for the record.
I like it.
do
I
like
mean,
Enchanted
it's-
for the record. The new
Enchantment.
It's fireworks,
Oh,
like
yeah,
it's
sorry.
beautiful fireworks, beautiful
Yes.
show,
Yes.
but
Add
it's
some of
happily
those
ever
fireworks
after.
from that show
Yeah,
into
just,
Happily Ever
just a
After,
couple.
and we fine.
What were
Yeah,
you saying,
but
Star
yeah.
Cruiser?
That, I mean, Star Cruiser, it's a Disney memory, right? But like
Yeah, for sure.
Star Cruiser, just the entire 45 hours that you're on that star, like
Yeah.
it's
It's a whirlwind.
a whirlwind, and it's unforgettable. Like the fact that they can do that in a theme park,
Yeah.
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 it's indescribable what it does to you as a person. Like
Yeah.
you've never experienced what it's like to be in that kind of situation, and that's really special to me too. But I don't want to make my favorite Disney memory like a Star Wars memory because Star Cruiser is like my identity now. But that as well.
I don't know. The Falcon's up
It's
there for
allowed.
me. If you kind of like what you said. Now I had one, and then when you brought up the cast member thing, it made me think of another one. Back when I didn't have a pass, we had a friend of ours that was a cast member,
Mhm.
and they get like digital tickets. They don't get the printable ones anymore. And so he had gifted me a digital ticket.
Oh yes, I remember. this.
And so we planned to go to Animal Kingdom. And so we get to the park and my ticket's not working. And so he gave us the digital ticket. And so we go to guest services. We're like, hey, it's not working. They're like, oh, well, the ticket's been used.
Yeah,
and
it
we're
like
like-
wasn't informed to us that the ticket had been used
Yeah.
before we could use it.
And we're like, well, that's impossible. Like, it's in my name.
Yeah.
And so long story short, the cast member just let me in the park.
Yeah, he just came out and he was like, "Hold on a second, let me just
Yeah.
go see if I can figure out how to fix this."
Yeah,
or whatever. And he came
and-
back and he's like,
Here you go.
"Have
Handed
a
me
great day."
Yeah,
And I was
handed
like,
me
"What?"
a ticket for the day. And me and her had
Wow.
just a
It was one of the
fantastic
best
day
days.
at Animal Kingdom. And then
That's
The-
when you got scorched by the sun.
yeah, destroyed. Yeah, destroyed by the sun. My other
the best
one
day.
Just
Yeah, the best
beams
day.
of the
Yeah,
sun,
yeah. Peeled for a week. The next one, this is more of like a funny memory. Me and you and your cousins, we were resort hopping
Oh yeah, that
for
was fun.
we were staying at
Fort
Fort Wilderness,
Wilderness,
like all the
mhm.
families that we bring the RVs and we're camping at Fort Wilderness.
And not all of us had passes to go into the parks this time, so
So we resort
we
hopped
resort
instead.
yeah.
And we're at Polynesian and we had run out of alcohol. And so we go into Polynesian and we're in the gift store and we're looking around. And, for obvious reasons, a 12-pack of Budweiser was like $35. Okay, like that's
Yeah.
expensive for a
Too
12-pack.
much.
Too much.
Too much.
And so we were like, oh no, we can't get it. We can't get it. Well, then her like little sister like comes walking past us with the Bud Light or with the Budweiser, and we're like, what the heck? And she goes, Dad's credit card was on the magic band. Let's go. And so she threw it on there. And so as me, her, and her cousins, and then we got on the monorails
Monorail?
and we just kept going to the other ones. And because at that point, like some of the bars had closed, but
oh yeah, a lot of stuff was closed, and a lot
Yeah.
of things
it was just a
weren't
really
even
funny moment,
open. Like Enchanted Rose wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah.
And
You
or we
couldn't,
didn't
like,
know
bar
about
hop
them
like you could.
now.
now.
Yeah, Trader Sam's
Yeah.
wasn't a thing.
Yeah, Trader
like,
Sam's wasn't even open at Polynesian,
This was
but
back in I think like 2017, 16.
it had to be 17 because it was. Anyway, what's your favorite?
Oh, okay. One that always comes to mind, no matter what, is when I don't know what age, but Electrical Parade. And I'm gonna get really mad again because I'm mad that it's not here and it's in
It is in
Disneyland.
It is in Disneyland.
Why I don't know.
We need it.
My dad, when he's at Disney, he's in a different form. Like he's a totally different person. It's
Yeah.
like just
He's a
it's-
Disney dad.
He like wears this cloak when he walks in, and
Yeah.
he is just all about everything gung ho.
He floats everywhere he
Yeah,
goes.
he just I don't even understand how to describe it because he's nothing is bothered. He's
Yeah.
not bothered at
No-
all.
no care in
while
the world.
was
He's
there.
at
Yeah,
Disney.
he's just like
Oh.
spend all the monies and be happy about it and not look back. Like it's fine. But when I was younger, when you're a kid, you always get thrown up on the shoulders. And the Electrical Parade was just something that struck a chord in me of like the love of Disney. Gosh, I hate that I cry so easily.
Don't feel
Pull it
bad.
pull it together.
It's okay to feel emotions.
But
See,
yeah,
that's what
so-
it is. That's the beautiful thing about
that's
it.
what it is. Yeah, for
and
sure.
so that's why I love parades so much and characters and something about seeing Cinderella in her light up dress and her giant beautiful light up carriage was just like that's gonna be me one day. Like I always wanted to just be in Disney, live there, breathe it, whatever it was. And that is just kind of what sparked my Disney saga, and that's something that's super special to me. So yeah, that's probably my best Disney memory. That's the
That's
one
awesome.
that's most prominent too, because I have a ton. Because I've been going since I was like 2. But
Well, guys, so to wrap this up, I'm going to make these last 2 questions short. If
Yeah.
you could go to any other country for Disney, money's not an object. Where would you go?
oh,
And favorite Disney movie? So I'll go first. My favorite Disney movie, not Pixar, is Emperor's New Groove.
Oh.
Yep, yeah,
Ooh,
it's
that's a
Emperor's.
good one.
I
You're
changed
not
it. I
allowed
changed
to
it.
steal mine.
I changed it. It
What
used to
on
be
earth?
Frozen 2. It used to be Frozen 2, and now it's Emperor's New Groove.
Well, now I feel cheated because he had to go first.
Goose goes poison, poison goose go.
I have a running list because it always interchanges.
You have to pick one.
I cannot.
You have
so
to.
I'm going to tell you the 4.
Oh my god. We don't have time
No,
for
it's
4.
literally it's Emperor's New Groove, Peter Pan, Alice in Wonderland, and Lion King 1.5.
Oh
If you
wow.
had-
1.5.
There you go.
It's
Deep
so
cut.
funny.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's one of those. Oh, and I guess the Goofy movie. That was another
Yeah,
one
Goofy
that I
movie's up there.
love so much.
Goofy movie's up there.
So those are my top 5, and they always kind of just. It depends on what I'm in the mood for. Is what number 1 is. So
What about you guys' favorite Disney movie?
I'm with you. I don't have a favorite movie because it just depends on what you want to watch at the time. So like
Yeah.
Moana, Coco. If I
yeah,
need to
I don't know why
cry,
you
like
say
if I
Moana.
have pent up tears, I've got to watch Up or
Yeah.
Wall-E,
Yep.
Toy Story, like all of them. And then the classics like Beauty and the Beast,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Aladdin.
Aladdin's so
Yeah,
good.
if it's a Disney movie, like I'm good. Just
Yeah,
put it
I
on.
really think it's
Throw it
for
on.
me the mood I'm in. Like if I want that feel like young again, I'll watch the old Aladdin, Lion
Mhm.
King.
Yes. Yeah.
Same thing. If we need a good cry, put on Moana or
Yeah.
Yes.
so.
I love Moana.
I know that part in Enchantment. It, everybody hates on Enchantment, and I have a little hate for it too. Not gonna lie, but the whole scene with that whole ending scene that they're singing,
It's so good.
I'm like, oh, every time.
that might be like I think that's my second favorite Disney song ever. Is that Moana song?
Yeah, we'll just put that on in the car.
Oh yeah, I'll
Listen
just
to it.
play. Have you guys heard of Punk Rock Factory?
Oh yeah,
No.
Punk Rock Factory
Change your
is
life.
a group of dads in the UK, and they do punk rock versions of Disney
These
songs,
songs.
and it's amazing.
so good.
It's amazing.
Oh my
Punk
God.
Rock
Have to check that
Factory.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
It'll change your life.
It's so fun,
All right,
especially
guys.
Moana's.
To wrap this up, if money was not an object, we got all the money in the world. What
Woo.
Disney park are you going to?
I'm
Mine
living
was-
on Star Cruiser.
Yep.
That's a good one. I haven't been there yet.
I know.
All right, so you're living on Star Cruiser.
I already know what your answer is.
You know what my answer is?
Yeah. But I
I can't pick Star Cruiser because I haven't been on Star Cruiser
have
yet.
always loved the idea of going to Disneyland Paris.
Yes.
Yeah. And I have a friend that's been there and she said it's unreal. And I think she's gone twice now. And I'm just like, oh, I want to go so bad. But and I have a friend that lives over in England. And whenever she goes, it's so cool because it's so different from everything we have over here because everything's very European. The architecture and everything like that is very specific, which I love.
What about you, Steven?
I think it's a little toss up between Shanghai and Tokyo because Tokyo has the Haunted Mansion, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then Shanghai has the Tron, which we're gonna get, but they're even
Yes.
changing Space Mountain. Like it's very, very futuristic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like that's like super cool. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a mix between those two. Maybe like they're pretty close.
Let's
like,
go on tour.
Yeah, just go.
Yeah, we'll just go to both. No big deal.
If you go
know.
over that side of the world, just hit up both
Yeah,
while you're there.
hit up
Just
both.
boop, boop.
Yeah.
You have endless
Do all
money.
3 of them.
Yeah, I don't have to
Do
worry
all
about
of
it.
them.
Yeah, and yeah,
Go to all of them.
I think Tokyo Sea, man. I want to go to Tokyo Sea so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disney Tokyo Sea. I just like from like the vlogs that I've seen, they seem to have like the best food. Is at Disney
everyone raves
Tokyo
about their
Sea.
food.
Like their little like mochi balls that look like the aliens from Toy Story.
Yes,
Mochi.
all and
Makes
the
me want a bubble
seafood there
waffle.
too. Like they have like these really cool like what's the Disneyland cone snacks in the car
cozy
area?
cone?
So they have like a cozy cone in Disney Sea, but it's like with prawns and
It's seafood.
yeah, it's like seafood. So
Which
anyway,
is kind of ironic.
it just looks
I'm out.
it looks super good. Oh, you don't do seafood?
I don't like seafood,
Oh, darn.
I'll
but he'll take mine.
You'll
Okay.
get, okay,
See,
good.
and we picked 2 different locations so that way like I go with him on his dream vacation.
That's what
He
I
comes with me
thought.
on my dream vacation,
Exactly.
right?
So what's
Exactly.
yours? Oh, because you said Star Cruiser.
Yeah, you said Star
That's the
Cruiser.
I'll live there.
Yeah.
I'll work there if
Yeah.
y'all need me to. I can clean the toilets. I'm just happy to be
Anybody
there.
listening?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, Disney, if you're listening, make me a plaid for just Batuu.
I know.
Okay.
Now you don't even have to be a plaid.
Just-
Like, just be a roaming character.
Yeah, like yeah,
Like a
that's
roaming
like my dream.
informative,
Look,
like-
I don't need that much money. Okay, just give
Just
me,
make me happy.
Just, yeah,
Let me be
exactly.
here.
Just make me happy. Guys, thank you very, very much
This
for
was
coming
awesome.
on. Yeah,
So
this
fun.
was a lot of fun. Hopefully, we didn't keep you too long. We very much appreciate you guys stopping by. Guys, do not forget, in the description below, you will see the link to the Princess and the Scoundrel podcast. Go there, leave them a review, leave them a like, subscribe to their YouTube, all the things that you guys know what to do. Same thing you do for us, do for them. Again, their podcast is very good, very, very polished. It is definitely worth your time and listening. I was your boy, it's Con. Sitting next to me, my beautiful wife,
Tasha Station.
and our virtual guests.
Sarah.
And
There you
Steven.
go. Yeah, I threw a curveball right at the end for you guys.
You
You know, I
did.
didn't even tell you. All right, guys, don't forget we have Kenobi coming up at the end of this month. Of course, you know that we are going to be covering every single episode in excruciating detail, all the breakdown stuff that you're going to have. Don't forget to call in. We have the We Back Wheel where every single week you are going to be able to win a prize, and we will have the Kenobi grand giveaway at the end of Kenobi. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.